Hi, my name is Therese. I'm the founder and CEO of 30-Minute MBA. I'm also a keynote speaker, and today we're going to talk about the different forms of time and how to make you more productive. So I'm sure your schedule is filled with appointments and different things you are dying to do. And it might be possible to get a meeting into your calendar, but what we're going to talk about today is all the other time that is not a meeting. So let's start with scheduling one time. So what is one time? Basically, this is the one thing you need to do today that will bring you closer to your goal in a short time frame. It might be a task, it might be a long email that you need to write to a client, it might be finishing that report that you've been putting off, it might be to edit that video to send to the production company for the final touch-ups. So one time is basically, it can be anything from 15 minutes to an hour. But it's important to use that time of the day and get it into your calendar to ensure that you actually complete at least one of those most important tasks of the day for the short term. Then let's talk about the second thing, which is flow time. And you might not be able to schedule this every day, but if you can schedule this a couple of times a week, it's definitely gonna give you an extra boost. And so let's talk about what flow time is. So flow time is basically the time of the day when you feel most productive, and if you pair that with the place when you're most productive or creative, you're most likely to enter that state of flow and that sense of excitement of completing a task. And this can be a time frame, everything from an hour to 3 hours. But during that time, it's really important to shut off your phone, or at least put it on mute and turn it upside down, turn off all of those notifications, and just put on your headphones and focus. And if you're in an environment that really sparks that creativity, it's gonna give you, as I mentioned, that extra boost. And you're gonna achieve more during that time. And making sure that you're using your flow time to your most important goal and more challenging project is probably not just writing an email, and it's not editing a video. It might be something more extensive, something that really requires all your creativity and focus without any interruptions. So that's another reason why it might be a good idea to leave the office and just go to a hotel lobby, or even a library if you would prefer them more quiet, maybe finding another co-working space, and then complete your task from there. But there's other times that we also can get into our calendar. One is transition time. And this is all the time of the day when we're moving around. And if you're living in an urban area, I'm sure you do that a lot. We're constantly running around between different meetings, we're going to the gym, we're going to different appointments, and those time frames, or those short sprints, we actually can use. And you don't necessarily need to schedule this, of course, but actually acknowledging this time can be really valuable. It can be a 15 minutes here, it can be a 20 minute there, it can be a 30 minute here. And it can be in a subway, it can be in a cab, it can be when you're running on the treadmill, or it can even be walking towards your next meeting. And we have an average of 30 minutes per day to spend on professional and personal development, and it's usually on the go. So make sure to use this time to something productive, like learning a new skill, or returning those phone calls can really be valuable over a long period of time. And then let's talk about giving. Performing acts of kindness and giving back to your community and people that you care about. And it might be hard to even acknowledge that you should schedule this in your calendar. But I'm sure that all of you are givers and you really care about people. But when you're living a really hectic life, sometimes it's easy to forget to show appreciation and to express that extra level of care. So just by scheduling a 30-minute every week or every second week or so, by spending that on giving and perform acts of kindness, like writing thank you letters or returning a phone call from a close friend, Or maybe even go for a walk with that person that really looks up to you. So that's another thing that can be great to get into your calendar. And then we have, of course, the fun time. And this can be with, your friends or your family or whatever that is, working out in the gym. And you can obviously call it whatever you want, but one way to separate that from your one time and your flow time is just to call it something completely different, which could be fun. But I assume that you think everything you're doing in your life, it's super exciting. So that's just a term to separate too. And then we have me time. And me time could easily be part of your morning and night routine. And this is covered in another video, so we will link those down below. But when it comes to me time, it's not so much about the quantity here usually, it's about the quality. And that this is part of maybe even your daily routine, to have a little bit of me time, to invest in yourself first. So a morning routine and night routine combined could be between 10 to 30 minutes. And it will combine a couple of different elements. And as I said, we're linking that down below, the 2 videos about that. But getting me time in really matters because it recenters ourselves and it gives us an opportunity of reflecting upon whatever is going on in our life, to get a fresh perspective. And you can even extend the me time to just have time by yourself, to go for that walk by the water, or to go to the gym and really push yourself really hard, or whatever that gives you an extra boost of energy. But it's so easy to forget that when we're living our hectic lives and are constantly on, and we're socializing and we're achieving great things at work and we're advancing. But it really matters, especially over time. And then finally, I want to talk about serendipity. So one can wonder, can you really invite serendipity into your life? Or can you even schedule time for that? And I would argue that you can. But it's not something I would recommend to do on a weekly basis, and maybe not even on a monthly basis. It's more connected to times when it makes most sense. And one example here that I've been using it for myself, when I travel around as a keynote speaker, is that connected to conferences, usually in the evenings, I block some time and I call that serendipity. So it's not time when something specific needs to happen, but I'm open for whatever that conference and that opportunity brings. So I actually have time to talk to new friends or to fans, or get to know other people that I haven't met before. Or even having a long, slow dinner with a close friend that lives in a different city. But having that kind of time is sort of like a luxury in our life. But I can assure you that when you do that, you consciously or subconsciously invite a lot of serendipitous moments into your both conference experience and your travel experience. But as I said, it's not something that I personally do on a regular basis. It's always connected for me to conferences. But you can of course use it in any way you want. So those are the different times, and to basically view time from a new light. So now I'm going through all of these different kinds of time. I hope that you look at your calendar and you notice the meeting times you already have scheduled, and maybe some of the time you already have set aside for achieving your goals. But you look at the calendar from a new light and start to put in some of those elements or some of those blocks that really matters to you. Everything from the me time to serendipity, acknowledging the transition time, of course the flow time, and then the one time. And it's nice to throw in some fun time as well from time to time, of course. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment down below and what time that you enjoy the most. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!